Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another game of the Rugby World Cup, the first of three games that are happening back to back today. This one, Georgia taking on Portugal. Now, Portugal have never got themselves a win in a Rugby World Cup game before. They put in a valiant effort up against the Welsh last week. The Georgians, we know how physical they can be in their four-pack. A little bit of X factor in their back line with Nenashvili. And now we get to see these two sides go head to head. Looking through at the table and the way that it sits currently with Pool C, as you can see, Wales sitting at the top of the bunch on the 10 points with a points differential of plus 26. And as we get closer to the end of these pool stages, that 26 could be absolutely crucial. Fiji and Australia, they both find themselves on the 6 points. And as you can see, completely identical. Georgia and Portugal here, both sides having the 20s as the points differential, both losing by 20 in their first game, but looking for redemption in this contest. England at the moment sitting at the top of Pool D as well. I should mention with Samoa, Japan and Argentina all right behind that game, and that pool is going to go down to the wire as well. In the chat, we have got hi all, and Amish says, Robert, welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing very well. Kia ora from Tokyo. Says DJ, welcome in. And Georgia, 50 points to 10 is the prediction there from Anarchy. And also greetings from Berlin. Says Stuart, looking through at the starting lineup for both of these sides. We will start with the Georgians. Now, I will mention my Georgian pronunciation of these names. It is still a little bit rough. I know that Abrasidze is back at number 9, which is going to be absolutely awesome. See what he can offer with Abhans Zdadze as his number 10. Shirakadze, the captain, at 12. Nenashvili, he was very prominent in the last game that they did play of this Rugby World Cup. It's just that big question mark of whether or not they can get the game flowing early. We know that Portugal like to play quite a fast-tempoed game, but in that front row, Gigashvili at number 3 and also Nariashvili at number 1 is going to be a dangerous combination. Indeed, for the Portuguese, some of the players to watch out for in this game. Appleton at 12 last game was pretty solid. Storte and Mata out on the wings. Guedes at 15, and then also Marquez as the dangerous number 9. Fajada in the front row alongside, it was Fernandez. And he actually, I believe he was close to getting himself, was it 10 tackles in the last game? Which doesn't sound like a lot, but in that game up against Wales, when Wales went through on absolutely everything at the Portuguese, he was actually doing not too badly, Francisco Fernandez. So might be decent in this game as well. We have got the hi Amish bro. Says Michelle, welcome in. Hope you are doing very well. So all the Georgian players Georgian borns, I believe so, a majority of them anyway. I certainly got some interesting last names, but hopefully they roll off the tongue throughout this fixture. I should mention that this game is about 7 minutes away from starting. Anyone wondering about the other games that we have got to take, or that we have got taking place for this day of rugby? Georgia, Portugal, of course, this first one. Then we got daylight savings here in New Zealand, which means that England-Chile game is actually only 3.5 hours or so away rather than the 4.5, but that will be an entertaining game. I assume England should be able to get themselves a relatively one-sided victory there. And then South Africa versus Ireland, the final game that is taking place. It's going to be an absolutely awesome one to close out this day of rugby. Scotland versus Tonga and Wales versus Australia, both two games just around the corner that are also going to be taking place. And then for anyone wondering about next week, it will be Uruguay versus Namibia. That is on Thursday morning at 4:45 New Zealand time. Japan plays Samoa on the Friday morning. Then New Zealand, Italy. That is going to be a relatively important contest for those two teams. It's going to be an 8 a.m. start as well. Argentina, Chile, a battle with South America. Fiji versus Georgia, a crucial game for the Fijians to win and win it comfortably. South Africa versus Tonga, that will be the last game of the weekend alongside Australia versus Portugal. And then Scotland, Romania, that will be another game that we need to see some big points being scored. But for the odds of this game, Portugal come in as $6 underdogs coming into this fixture alongside the Georgians, who are favourites. As you can see, the other two games relatively even. One of them is, one of them not so much. The best chance for the Chileans, of course, will be if they start that game quick, if they can keep up the rapid English tempo. Morning, says Yvonne, welcome in. We have got there, it's going to be another late night for you, mate, says DJ. It certainly is. So already today, I have gotten up a little bit earlier than I was anticipating, but that is because we did film the podcast preview for the upcoming games of the Rugby World Cup. When does this game start, says Yvonne? It does start in 5 minutes' time. The two sides just making their way out of the tunnel now, so we are close to the national anthems. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. And it's going to be an interesting day because by the end of it, I think I would have been up for around that 24-hour mark again. But that is just what happens in these weekends of the Rugby World Cup. You just don't quite get the sleep that you normally would. But that's what after the World Cup's for, trying to catch up on all of those late nights. 30-12 score for Georgia. Hi, Hamish and viewer, says Di, welcome in. Did you feel the earthquake on Wednesday, says Kiwi Gamer? I did not, but that is because I was asleep. I think it was at about 9 or 9:30 a.m., but that was just after I had gone to bed from being up for the whole night doing editing. I hope Portugal get their first win, says Sports Fan. And to be honest, this is their best bet in this Rugby World Cup competition. Up against a Georgian side that, of course, we know can be physical, but sometimes they do lack that ability at times to score tries. So we can see through their last 3 fixtures, that is Portugal. We'll start with Portugal. Why not? They were able to get themselves a big win over the USA, 46 points to 20. Australia A, they were able to beat Portugal 30 points to 17, although that was still a valiant effort, seeing as the Australia A side, some people felt was better than the Wallabies team, and then Portugal just scoring themselves that 1 try up against the Welsh, 28 points to 8, but more of a split in the points than they would have liked. For the Georgians, their last game of the Rugby World Cup, it was up against the Australians, 35 points to 15 was the score. Their warm-up game for the Rugby World Cup, 33 points to 6. They had a big win over the Romanians, 56 points to 6, and then 22 points to 7 up against the USA. Now, a fun fact there, it's 20th of August, 22 points to 7. 13th of August, 46 points to 20. So we did see a lot more points being scored by the Portuguese when they did go head-to-head with the USA. I should also mention both of these sides. They have got 2 games remaining in their Rugby World Cup pools. Australia and Fiji, the last 2 games for the Portuguese. And then for the Georgians, they have got Fiji and Wales. So not really an easy end to either side's competition for this Rugby World Cup. Our prediction says, Michael, I am backing Georgia to win this game 25 points to 22. A very close, hard-fought one. I actually mentioned about it before this contest, and I think it was about a week ago. I said that this actually has the potential of being one of the best games that we see of this Rugby World Cup. And I know that that sounds weird to say, seeing as it is 2 sides further down the rankings, but with the fact that they'll be seesawing with the passion out there on the field as well, if they can get their handling right, they'll both be playing that free-flowing rugby. You can see the passion on the face of this Portuguese side who do like to push that tempo. We saw that in their game up against Wales. Apparently, Portugal did well against Ireland in their training game, says Yvonne. See, I feel like the Portuguese, they'll definitely be a side that people have underestimated. But if they get it right on the day, they seem like they're going to be doing all right. You have enough coffee for tonight's game with the Box versus Ireland, says it was there from Ewan. We have not had any coffee at all. We just got ourselves the 1.5 litre of water. I can tell you right now, this is going to be empty by the end of the night. I hope Portugal pull it off, says Philippines. And also, I says, Yako, welcome in, and Portugal could do this, says Colin there. Portugal all the way, says Mario. It's a more even game for sure, says Yvonne. Yeah, I'm quite surprised with the odds having it so split between the 2 sides, because I would have thought that after that last Portuguese performance, they would have only been about maybe $3 underdogs, which I feel would have been a little bit closer to what they should be, but it's going to be a fast-paced game. Rugby Warriors 2024 NRL, yes, says Reed. Well, now we have to look at 2024 because they just lost, didn't they? Unfortunately, so yeah, now we got to look forward to the next year. Australia versus Wales will be a cracker as well, says DJ. I hope Portugal wins, but it will be a Georgia greetings from Johannesburg, South Africa, says Andre G in the chat as well. But yeah, it is hugely appreciated, guys, all being here for this live stream. I will mention that this is actually a game between 2 sides that do not have English as their first language, so it is hugely appreciated you guys all popping in. I will apologise for some of my pronunciations first of all, because they will be a little bit rough at times. I will try my absolute best to get them right. I've got a lot of Tudzes and Villies in my head. Wait a minute. The pronunciation of the last name, Villi, of course, rather than anything else. And then also those Portuguese names thrown in there as well make it relatively tricky. Honestly, with this game, I don't know the outcome. We just have to wait. And also we have got there, my score is the Springboks 35 to the Sevens of Ireland, says Yako. But now this game just about to kick off, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we heart Kiwi lad, says Yvonne. Yeah, it's going to be a fun day of rugby. We've got lots of games taking place. England versus Chile. Next game that is taking place, that is at 4:45 a.m. New Zealand time. So that will be in about 3 hours, 45 minutes. Looks like Paul Williams is going to be in charge of this game. And also we have got there a lot of what in your head. Hello, Kerr. It's great that is what you came in to hear. But yeah, well, it didn't sound like the best statement. I kind of caught myself halfway through and went, hang on, this sounds a bit dodgy. But yeah, I hope you're doing well, Kerr. Whereabouts are you now in the world? Do let me know. Now it's going to be a box kick for the Portuguese with Marquez. For me, it's going to be 45-5. Says it was there from Ewan. Now, backline movement for the Georgians. And that's the thing, they are a dangerous side when they attack and when they use their fellows. They have got in that forward back because they can make extra meters for fun. That's a nice little piercing run from Gigashvili. Now firing it off to the left-hand side. The captain gets his hands on it. Shirakadze. One more out wide. Sakhinadze. I think that wasn't too bad. I don't judge. You know that by now, says Kerr. Yeah, that is true. Oh, big shot coming in from Francisco Fernandez. Now the fly half gives it off to Gigashvili, who looks on a pass out the back. Ninashvili gets it out wide, and it's going to be Tabutsatse scores the first try for Georgia within the first 1 minute 20 of this game. Portugal fly halves looks like he had to get permission from his parents to play, says Vitamin Green. He does look very young, doesn't he? Old Portela. And try Georgia, says Vitamin, and we have a killer team for the Springboks, so we will dominate. And currently halfway across the Pacific, signal is shocking, says Kerr. Yeah, it's hugely appreciated you popping in for this game. We are going to be covering Scotland versus Tonga tomorrow. That should be an interesting one. See how it goes, Hamish Bro. 34k, just a short, the subscribers. I've entered the Rugby World Cup across 50k subscribers for the Kiwi lads here, says Vishal. I'll be honest, if we can get to the end of the Rugby World Cup without a copyright strike, I feel like I'll be a very happy man. Because that is the main concern at the moment. And damn, that was quick, says DJ. It was very quick. This could be painful, says Yvonne. Hopefully not, but that looked a little bit too easy for them to break through. Now going to make the score 7-0. Nice kick from Abs Handadzi. But Gigashvili went out to it was Ninashvili with a nice step. The little flick out the back. Just looking forward to the commentary for tonight's game, says Justin. And damn, that was quick, says a DJ there. Do you know what happens if we lose? Which won't happen. Wait, do you know what happens if we lose but it won't happen? Both sides, whoever loses Ireland versus South Africa still have a very, very strong chance of making it through to the next stage. There's like probably about a 2% chance that they miss out to Scotland. Hopefully a lot of subscribers by the end of today's game, says Yvonne. Yeah, I have no idea what to expect for that South Africa versus Ireland game. I always like to think, as long as I get to see like you regulars on the live streams, like that's the main thing. To be honest, I know it sounds cheesy, but like, yeah, it's always awesome seeing the familiar faces coming back each week for these live streams. Should be a nice game of rugby, says Mark. A little bit of a kicking battle between the two sides at the moment. Looks like now, kicked in behind from Guedes. Cleaned up at the back. Ninashvili tries to low drive and kick. It's curled quite nicely. It's close to a 50-22. Portugal, bit of pressure there being put on by Ninashvili, who is chasing after. That will be a knock-on from the Portuguese. Now, Marquez was asking for a penalty, but he's not going to get it. And it is now going to be the scrum feed for the Georgians. Hey, don't give me a heart attack, no copyright, says a Robert there. And keen to see how Sexton, the geriatric, approaches the rush defence tonight, says Justin. And also good afternoon/evening, says Flesh, and welcome in, mate. You are doing very well. And hey, Hemi, you need a new chair. That means you need new subscribers, says Yvonne there. Although we've had a lot of the loyal subscribers have been the ones who have, of course, been helping with the cheer fund. I think I just need to get time. That's the hardest part, getting time to actually go and look at cheers. But I think by the time I get one, I'll have to get a relatively flash one just because I feel like I don't want to get one that might not be great. I've got a nice gold medal beside my name now, says Kerr. You're looking very flash indeed. I believe that's 6 months, if I'm not wrong, that you've been a member on the channel, Kerr. So that is Greatly appreciate it. It doesn't feel like it's been a whole 6 months since you joined, though. Like, to be honest, time is flying by way too quick at the moment. We're already 9 months through the year. Ireland vs South Africa. Loser gets All Blacks next round bonus. And remember, at 2 a.m, it will be 3 a.m. in New Zealand, says Novmum. Yep, so it is going forward an hour. We're doing a little bit of time travelling later on in the night. It's going to be a scrum reset now. I vote you get a throne to sit in. I feel like a throne would cost... How much would it... Where can you get a throne from? I have so many questions. Should I Google it? We've had another scrum reset here for these two sides. Throne seat NZ. The first thing that comes up is a beanbag. A party prop. Oh, throne seat in mahogany is 710 New Zealand dollars to get a throne. Okay, so it's around $800 for a throne chair. Get a custom throne. That sounds like $1,000 at least, which we do not have at the moment. I wish you were allowed to show the game, but copyright has to ruin the fun. Says, was there from you? And yeah, it is a bit of a shame, but then at the same time, you know, I can understand why they do copyright. People custom made Lazy Boy. Says, Karen, we have got a donation from Tony for the new chair, mate. Release the Nelson I thought you were going to say the Nelson Mandela effect, but yeah, released Nelson. You also said earlier on, I think I missed your message from you saying, Hamish, you handsome bastard, which is very kind of you, Tony. With a built-in toilet and bidet. Now Georgia on attack again, 6 minutes into the contest. Nice sling and pass. Going to Chris Velazzi. I'm holding my ball ready for Ireland. Says... was there from Owen. Now going back across to the left-hand side. Nice quick hands from Serakadze. Now Nineshvili, he didn't really have too many places he could go other than backwards there. Geronimo Portela makes the tackle, and in the breakdown, Portugal. Oh, that's a yellow card. From one of the nines anyway. It's a bit of push and shove going on. Marquez is not happy. See, that's probably going to be at least a warning there for the number 9, Abrasidze, because he did get the ball ripped out of his hands. He got a little bit sad about it, and then from there decided to try and just rip the number 9 down. Red 9, who caused the issue, they've just said you should try to become professional. I think it'd show maybe, although I think if I was professional, they would have me doing the commentary for the TV rather than the on YouTube, so I don't think I'd be allowed to show it anyway in that case. We have got their Hamish Pro every team inside 10 minutes. Scores a try this World Cup matches. It's fantastic try average of this World Cup, I think, here. Says Michelle, yeah, we've seen a lot of quick tries being scored. We've got a donation from Akaris as well. Thank you very much, mate. Your £5 is hugely appreciated. We'll go towards the so-called throne that I have to buy. With thrones wouldn't be comfy to sit on for a long time, though, would they? Have you ever heard... Oh, it depends on what it is, I guess. I was going to say, have you ever heard like a king going, oh, this is a comfy seat? But I guess they probably would eventually, like depending on how much cushion you got on it. Now, nicely claimed by Marquez. Portugal, their first real possession in the first 8 minutes of this contest, currently on the halfway line. Two hot-headed teams. There could be a few cards, says Flesh, and yeah, I think there's going to be a couple high shots by the end of this one. Porcelain throw, says Kerr there. That's rolling. It's gone dead from Georgia. A bit too much oomph on that one. Geronimo Portela celebrates not just because the ball's gone dead, but because he doesn't have any homework to do after the game today. The man looks 12. Sorry, that sounded harsh. I'm in a weird mood. I think it's sleep deprivation. I don't know what the commentary is going to be like all throughout the day. I think it's going to be fun overall. And we have got there, we have a good team this game, especially with Eben and Pollard back. Pollard is not back, though, for this matchup against the Irish. He is instead going to be returning, I believe, for the Tongan game just around the corner. And 9 minutes into the contest, Portugal 25 metres out from the Georgian line. Like I mentioned, probably their first real attacking scenario of this contest. They'll be absolutely wanting to make the most of it. Gone down in the front rows, actually flattened out big time there for the sides, but Portugal still in possession. Nice slinging pass, almost able to find his offload away to Costa Storti. Now Marquez going to the right-hand side, little pop pass up to Madrera, I believe it is. But Eben is back. Eben certainly is back. And number 4 going head-to-head with Ty Burn, a man who has scored himself 3 tries in this Rugby World Cup. At this point, there is a knock-on against Portugal. Georgia back in position now. And also, hi all, says Jacqueline. Welcome in. Hope you are doing very well. This game has been flying by already. 10 minutes in already. So going up for it. It's going to be slapped back by Portugal, or at least I thought it went back. Very unlucky. In fact, they might have called it as an accidental offside against Guedes. So now scrum feed for the Portuguese. I just opted for an under-desk treadmill for my home office, although keeping my big chair as well, since desk has memory function for different heights. I know I want a seat sometime, says Kerr. Can you do the Sui, says G13. I feel like in the right moment it will seem all right and it would be doable, but just randomly I think everyone would look at me a bit funny. Me and George, we were actually in the warehouse the other day and we were looking at standing desks. You know, the ones that you press a button and it goes and then you can stand behind it. I was heavily considering one of those for the channel once we have the budget. But those things as well, because they're motorized, they are like a good 700, which is pretty rough. I've just got an old desk, school desk I think it was, or like a desk for like doing schoolwork at, that I've turned into a gaming setup / YouTube. That's a nice offload. Beautiful hands. Ninashvili now within the 10 meters from the line, could do a Game of Thrones replica, says Akaris. Although people will be sad if I had a Game of Thrones throne and I hadn't actually seen Game of Thrones. That's what I've got. Total game changer, says Kerr. So yeah, I feel like it would be the big question mark of whether or not we should go for the desk first or the or the chair first. The chair would make more sense because we sit a lot more than we desk, but then we do use our desk all the time as well. And we are great. Hope you are well. As always in South Africa, we Brian drinking red wine. I enjoy your commentary. Thanks, says Jacqueline. Thank you very much. And yeah, plenty more coming today. We've got England versus Chile, and then also alongside that, the big matchup taking place between South Africa and Ireland. Chair first, better for the back, says Yvonne. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll probably go chair then desk. It's a good order. And yo, Kiwi, hoping you're doing good today, says Daz. I certainly am. I'm just hoping I have a voice by the end of tonight. Free kick now for the Portuguese at scrum time. And also, you haven't seen Game of Thrones. You've been living under a rock, says Stuart. Yes. I have, tell you what, Stuart, list 3 different TV series or movies. I'll tell you whether I've seen them, and more than likely I haven't. And if they're well-known ones, I probably haven't as well. And good for Brain. Red wine is the order of the day. When's the blonde girl? Oh, when the blonde girl got her trophies out. I lost interest in Game of Thrones, says Tony. This is going to be interesting, says username. Nicely kicked down the field, close to the touchline for the Portuguese, number 10, Portela. Now looks to fire it back infield. Ninashvili going for the kick again. Tomorrow's Bride Day in South Africa. It is actually Heritage Day. That's a great kick from Ninashvili. Slowly curving back infield. Marquez now does put that ball into touch. Didn't get a huge amount of distance on it though. Oh, we have got that. I'll tell you now, Hamish hasn't seen them. Yeah. Yeah, we did this on one of the live streams about 6 months ago, and I had seen hardly anything that was listed. Which is a shame, really. I feel like at some stage I'm going to start watching films and like TV series. After the World Cup, I feel like I'll have to try and watch like a movie a week. Give you guys a review of it while we're doing the URC. Or like after the URC streams, of course. Now Georgia rolling more chance again. Gigashvili has got the ball at the back here, although now it's gone down. Good defence from the Portuguese to stop it. On the side of the breakdown, I think Tajir. Oh, he was close for that ball. Now Gigashvili again. Using the big forwards, which is always something that Georgia pride themselves on, the size of their pack. There is a reason that so many of their players do go to France. Oh, yeah, a little bit of feistiness going in that breakdown, but it is going to be a penalty advantage now for Georgia. Going for the kick across field. Nicely taken at the back. Game of Thrones. Throne was made from melted swords and evidently very uncomfortable, says Akaris. Yeah, that sounds like it would be quite a sore backside scenario, wouldn't it? Where are you from? You can hear the Kiwi accent. Yeah, I am from New Zealand myself. Although sometimes when I talk really quick, I sometimes get a bit of an Aussie accent starting up. I'm glad you're doing good. Your voice will hopefully be fine, missed away of your streams, or a lot of your streams. I didn't know what times the games are starting. Says Daz, yeah, they've been at really random hours for us here in New Zealand. But the games that are coming up, if you are in New Zealand, these are the times for the future games. As you can see, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, South Africa versus Ireland. That is going to be an absolutely epic encounter between those two teams, and perhaps it could be the rematch, or at least it could be a rematch later on in the competition in their World Cup final. England versus Chile, that is the next game that we are covering on the channel. So, yeah, be sure to check that one out. And then Scotland, Tonga, and Wales, Australia, both taking place in the middle of the night tomorrow, New Zealand time. After that last game, I believe I'm going golfing with George and his brother. Whether or not we've had sufficient sleep is to be confirmed. Now, Georgia looking to line this one up. 1 Coronation Street. I mean, it's been on the TV before, but I couldn't name you one character off it. Like, I've probably watched a total of about 10 minutes of it in about 20 separate occasions. Shortland Street, haven't seen it since my sister was living with us, which was about maybe 7 years ago or 5 years ago or something, because she used to watch it a little bit, but then she stopped watching it. So I probably haven't seen it in about 10 years. And then TVNZ1 News. No, I'm never up in time to watch the news. I'm always up at midnight. I went to the All Blacks play Italy. That is at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning next week. Or Friday next week, says Daz. Although that'll be next week, Friday news. Wait up. I better have a quick check here. In fact, no, you might be right. It is Friday. No, it is Saturday. Saturday, 8 a.m., the 30th of September is when the All Blacks go head-to-head with Italy. I should mention that Georgia, they were able to get that 3 points over. So now they do sit with a 10-0 lead. Is Coronation Street still going? Maybe. Is it? How long ago? Oh, they started ages ago, didn't they? So I feel like they keep on going just for fun. Georgia looks serious, says Jody. I thought he was an Aussie because he sounds like one. My bad, says Irvin there. And also, so it's 12 a.m. down there, says G13. It is. So we are starting this first live stream at around that 12 mark. The last live stream will be finishing at about 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. The viewing list is number 1 at nursing homes. Says, was there from Hanoi. And also we have got their prisoner cell block H. Says Abby, is that like a movie or a series? Or neither? Nice run forward again from Apanze. Now Gigashvili. Tackled low by Francisco Fernandez. Going to the short side here. Nice hands from Ninashvili. Line break here. It's going to be the big man at 6. Almost finds his way through. Does find his offload. But Abrasidze does knock the ball on, I thought. But they've given it as a try. Must not have got a hand to it. I forgot that. Not all nations have the same time zone, says Des. I heard we have Stormers in our team. That's why we are so good, says Erwin there. And also, we have the Irish versus South Africa game today. You have it tomorrow. Lucky us, says Stull. And was an Aussie prison drama in the 1980s. Okay, so I feel like my parents would probably know it. But yeah, I don't think I've ever watched it. That's why Marnie Libot's kicking is so good, says Happen Beast. They are just going to be checking this one. I thought that it was a knock-on from Abrasidze, but he claimed it straight away as a try. We have got there, we all appropriate your sleepless risk, says G13. At the end of the day, like, I managed to sleep a decent amount during the week. It's just the weekends that were up for long, like, drawn-out periods of time. Oh, yeah, no, he's knocked that on. Abrasidze should have known that as well. It's hit his arm. He's acted like nothing's happened. And clearly a knock-on, no try. And there, hello all, says Andre. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. Prisoner in the Sullivans, good Aussie dramas, says Tony Martinez. But that is going to be now the knock-on against the Georgians. Little bit of luck. Abrasadze, he's got a big smile on his face. He was hoping to get away with that one by trying to lie to the referee. Didn't work in this case. It was a great run forward, though, by Jalagonia. Then found that offload away. Clipped the hand. He would have known that it hit his hand as well, but still put the ball down. Mane should have been chosen, or shouldn't have been chosen for the block. But yet again, Pollard was injured, says Daz. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because Mane Libbok, we've heard this back and forth in terms of Pollard versus Libbok, and I think Libbok offers more attacking-wise, whereas Pollard offers you stability when it comes to those kicks. And I feel like Ireland looks up to us in a small way, to be honest. Be an honour to play them, says Irvin there. And also we have their neighbours in home and away. One of those two isn't going anymore, is it? Our Warriors were knocked off by the Broncos tonight. Dull, says Haka Harvey. I was hoping for a closer game than it ended up being. It got a bit one-sided near the end of it, but the Warriors still a much better season than a lot of people felt that they would be able to do. So yeah, hopefully next season they do improve once more. Currently 10 metres out from their line. Portugal. Marquez going to be firing this one back into the pocket. Portela looking for touch, although he won't manage to find it there. Nicely cleaned up there by the try scorer out on the right wing. Tabutsadze. Naninashvili going back out to Tabutsadze's side, but it has been knocked on by Georgia once more. If you do Lucifer series after the World Cup, I'm in, says Jacqueline. Yeah, see, I haven't seen any of Lucifer. Although I know that the guy off it was on something on the TV. Was it Miranda that he was on? I can't think of his name, though. It might be Gary. Is his name Gary? Or does he just look like a Gary? Hamish House Argentina only scrape of win versus Samoa. I think Pool D is going to be extremely close in terms of who's able to get themselves over the line. Because, it's going to be very interesting to see how it works out for them in that group. Because Argentina should go through theoretically, but if Samoa get themselves a couple wins, including a massive upset up against England, they could actually sneak their way through as well. We have got there, Colton are legit, says Chronic. One of the best. I'm on season 2, says G13. That is going to be in touch. Portugal just running out of space on the near side of the field. The crowd are booing, but there's a good bit of work from Tabutsadze out on that wing. Mane can kick good if he wants to, but Pollard has more experience than Mane because Pollard has been playing longer, but I'm glad the Bock are giving Mane a chance. Maybe we'll start kicking good, says Dad. See, the other side of things for the Springboks at the moment is if they leave it too late to bring in Andre Pollard into that starting lineup, I actually worried that might hurt the Springboks because they've gone with the game plan for the past, let's say, 7 or so games involving Mane Libbok, or maybe 7 out of the last 10 games or something along those lines, and it's been working. Oh, they're going to restart with a scrum in favour of Portugal as the ball was not in touch. Mistake made by the man on the far side. Tom Ellis is Welsh. Tom Ellis, not Gary. Gary is SpongeBob's pet snail. Yeah, got rid of the ball quite nicely there. The Portuguese winger. And pop quiz, what is the most common colour of the home kit for the Rugby World Cup? I feel like green's got to be up there, doesn't it? Like in terms of, or red. Actually, no. Now that I think about it, I'm not sure. Yellow's sneaking in a bit with certain sides. I gotta think of home kits. Maybe red? Red might be a good shout because you've got Chile, you've got Georgia, you've got Portugal, you've got Wales, Tonga. I'd go red. Locking in red, hopefully. Let's see if we get it right. I think in black, says Haka, that probably hurt them. They also playing with a 7-1 split, which is very risky tactic in the Rugby World Cup, says Daz. I guess now, though, for them, they are at a stage where they can afford to take that risk. It's blue with 7 red coming in second with 6. Oh, so I was 1 off. I'll take that. I feel like second place isn't too bad. Now Georgia, they have got themselves a scrum after the free kick is won by the Georgian side. They will be looking for a bonus point win here just to give them half a chance of catching up to some of those other sides, because if they can do it, it's a sad night, says Tony. I have seen the result, Tony. It wasn't quite what they were after for the Warriors. Definitely after they started so well. They scored the first try of that game. Unfortunately, after that, it went downhill. And Boyd has to catch up. And also Trent Bolt looking very sharp, says Tony. That is now going to be the ball available for Georgia. Tabadzadze going across into the midfield. Crashing run forward. See there, I think it was Shirakadze actually having to join that breakdown. Keep it onside, green and yellow and white, 2 each. Of course, only team having black. That's going back for another penalty to Georgia here. The discipline of Portugal inside of their own 22 has been a little bit lackluster so far. Doesn't England also have a red kit? Says Daz, or I guess their home kit, I guess, is just the white. Oh, that's got a bit of red in there as well, doesn't it? Second place isn't too bad for South Africa either, says Chronic Underachiever. And also second place is the first loser. That is true. Although there's also that old school saying that we used to have in primary school, first the worst, second the best. So, you know, that's not too bad. That was tackled without the ball. And then actually smacked Gigashvili in the face. Say something to cheer me up, Hamish, says Tony. If you guys haven't already, be sure to check out 2 Cents Gets Distracted. It is a podcast with 2 Cents Rugby and Distracted Sports where they break down all things Rugby World Cup. 1 upload on Tony's channel a week, 1 upload on Mark's. Be sure to check that out. Was that a good... I was going to say a joke, but I couldn't think of many. So then I was like, might as well give him a plug instead. England have white for the home and dark blue for away, says Novmum. And I think, or if we think green, we can't help but to think Irish, and that scares me, says Jacqueline. But now 5 metres out from the line for the Georgians. Abrazadze giving it across. Oh, good work in the breakdown there from Portugal. Francisco Fernandes gets the turnover just out from his own try line. What is a good joke that's not rugby based? Can't think of one. Isn't it weird how like you can think of jokes when you're not on the spot, but as soon as you get put under pressure, that's why I wouldn't be a very good podcast, or not a podcaster, but a very good comedian. Because when I try and think on my feet, I crumble. South Africa never goes for second place in the World Cup, says Stull. And also Distracted Sports, well, this week's podcast will be the last time you wind Mark up about league, says Fleshin. And also Crack and Plug Champ, the Rugby War wrap-up has been gathering steam, loving it, says Distracted Sports. That's where England has a red kit. Am I just tripping out? No, they have had a red kit in the past. Oh, big jump and run there from the young Portuguese fly half. 40 metres out from their line. Why was the Dolphin sad? He had no porpoise in life. That's not too bad, that one. Overall, that's going to be kicked in behind from Portugal. Now nicely stepping there. Ninashvili gets through 3 or 4 tackles. Now pops it out wide. Chance offloaded on the inside. Skill from Ninashvili, but it's kicked out on the full. All right, I'm off. I assume that is from Tony, maybe. It's the British and the Irish. Says Chronic there. Some great individual brilliance from Ninashvili. Got the pass away on the outside. Then just didn't quite stay off. I'm off to cry myself to sleep, says Tony. Well, be sure you hydrate as well. I've been talking to someone recently, and if you have got tears, you got to make sure you are replacing that water with more water. But don't drink alcohol because that will make it even worse, I think. Are you going to be getting up for the Irish-South African game, Tony? Out of curiosity, I can tell you some bad jokes. You might blush uncontrollably, says Stull. And I mean, I'm scared Ireland is going to win this time, says Jacqueline. And hi, Tony, feeling better? I don't think he is, Yvonne. I think he's a bit hurt about the result. But as long as the Broncos win the NRL, that might make it slightly better because then it's like at least they lost to the eventual champions. Time is off again, 26 minutes into this contest at the moment. It's actually been a pretty fast-flowing game. We've had a few scrums along the way, but not too many stoppages. Charged down by Mikatsadze. And also special plan for the quarters. At the Box are second in the pool against the French. It's 8-0 split with them at fly half. And yes, all thanks to the tip, Jeppe Von Health is better. Oh, well, you are well, Tony. So hopefully you are better from that. If you lose to Ireland, we will beat them in the final, says Happy Home. Also, Portugal says Joe D. See, that's the thing. It's only 10-0. At the moment, all Georgia so far, says Calmac. Exactly right. Currently, Portugal come in as $15 underdogs after the pressure that we have seen created by the Georgians. Marquez fires it across. I'm referring to the final. Says Jacqueline and Eben inside centre. Peter Stiftatoy outside centre, says Justin. That's a pretty big centre combo in terms of height, that is for sure. Nice clearing kick from Marquez, though, relieving a bit of the Portuguese pressure. Looks like the crowd are not too happy with where that ball has been called as being out. Referee slowly shuffling a little bit further down. And Portugal, they look tough enough. What happened to Rugby Union in Australia, says Chronic. The same thing that has happened the last 15 or so years. I think we're at the point now that we're realising it's not the coach that's the problem, it's the players. They need a better player pool. They need more consistency in the side. And until they're able to get that and compete with the NRL, all the best players are going to be going to league. And Australia are still going to be struggling. Now, nice backline movement here for the Georgians. Now, Ninashvili, another big run from him. He has had probably, I would say, 50 metres or so made, but the penalty this time goes to Portugal. What did one Kiwi statue say to the other? Statue, bro. Nice. Georgia looks surprisingly good, says Stahl. And also Portugal, they look tough enough. E. Jones is administrator in the last rights. Says Yvonne and Kiwi eats, roots, shoots, and leaves. Says Haka Harvey. 7 visits for Georgia to the opposition 22. Stage of the contest. So Portugal just lacking that territory. They've only visited the 22 of the Georgians once throughout this first 28 minutes. Now thrown in. It wasn't straight from Portugal. You see the frustration on the face of Mike Tadzia there. He needed that one to be straight. Now scrum feed for the Georgians. 12 minutes remaining in the half. And Tony has COVID. He looked rough on this week's podcast. Mark wasn't too far behind him, says Yvonne. Well, hopefully he does feel a lot better. I don't actually know that. Oh, that's the thing. The one thing that's been a slight unfortunate nature of this World Cup is I've had no time to go on YouTube other than, of course, when we are uploading or like scheduling streams and everything like that. I haven't watched a movie in like 4 weeks. And now I'm like, now that it's been so long, what movie do I watch when I get back into it? Broken Arm, says Joe D. A Kiwi, have you eaten so far today? Are you going to go eat a banana later, says Des. You read my mind, Des. I haven't actually had breakfast yet. We did get up at about, I think it was 9 p.m., somewhere around there, because we did have to film the podcast. That's going to go into touch. And that will almost be up on the channel as well. That little bit of hair is going to annoy me. It's not like Superman. Sit over there. There we go. It's better. Root shoots and leaves are very nutritious. I just add some fish, says Stahl. And the correct name for flip-flops is jandals. In South Africa, we call it pluckies. Pluckies. Yes, I forgot to like, says Jacqueline. Yeah, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We were 2 subscribers off the 34,000 at the time when this live stream started. I will have a quick look now, see whether or not we have got there. So far, we have seen 8 missed tackles from the Portuguese. 51 tackles made, though. 16 tackles made by the Georgians in this one. They have just not had as much defensive work to do as Portugal. And 30 minutes in, only 10-0. Yes, so they are actually, like Portugal overall, you'd have to say are doing well in this game to only be 10 points down with the amount of attacking pressure we have seen from the Georgians. But now, Ibrakadze with a short ball there. Going off to the right-hand side. This is a good chance. Ninashvili passes one more out wide to Tabud Sadze, the man who did score the first try and the only try for the Georgians in this match up till this stage. Mamukashvili. Another run. Nice pop pass up. Over the ball, though, for Portugal. Very close to the turnover for Chikeria. Around the side again. Ninashvili and Nariashvili both working hard. 5 metres from the line now. If Georgia sling this one out to the left, they could score. Now Siarakadze. It's going to be an advantage and a penalty there. And I believe that it would have been obstruction had it not been for the fact that Portugal were offside already. In Australia, they're called thongs. Says Chronic Underachiever. And yesterday, many people failed or forgot to like the channel. Says Stull. And in South Africa, we fear one thing. There's an angry mother with a plucky in her hand. Says Dazix. Only 2 things smell like fish, and one of them fish. Says Ahaka. Right, they will take on the 3 points now, Georgia. Which, I mean, I guess is credit to the Portuguese defence overall. A little bit of laughing coming there from Betancourt, I believe it is. Tell you what, there's some tough names in this game, ladies and gentlemen. I believe I can safely say this will be the hardest game to call in terms of commentary, in terms of those names. I don't think there's any other games that will quite compete with this matchup. That I can think of anyway. Uruguay versus Namibia, I think we'll actually go all right in that one. To be honest, that will be the other one that might be a bit of a struggle. That kick has gone over. Now 13-0 for the Georgians. But I did mention about it at the start of this Rugby World Cup. Georgia, they've just lacked, at times, the ability to score tries against big sides. You're 100% sure that the Pavlova is a Kiwi creation? Says Andre G. I mean, apparently it was. We actually have been on a live stream before when we had to Google it. And Lamingtons, I think, were Australian. I haven't had a Lamington in over a decade. Does everyone know what a Lamington is? Out of curiosity, are they known overseas? Kiwi, by the end of the Rugby World Cup, you have over 50k subscribers. Says Daz, it would be absolutely insane. That is for sure. A nice driving tackle made on Portela. And hi, says J9. Welcome in. And hi, says Betting Lane. Yeah, both doing very well. Now it's going to be the advantage to Portugal. Tackle in the air. See, I don't know about that one because the player jumped into it to then get tackled. Nice carry forward. I don't think we've seen too much of this Portuguese backline so far throughout this match. Great take from Portela. No advantage for not rolling away. This is Portugal's chance here in this first half. Appleton, big bump off of Nariashvili. A slinging pass for Portugal going to the right-hand side. Quite a few forwards getting involved in the action, but now nice cut on the inside from Storti. Huge amount of speed shown by him, and he scores the try for Portugal. And what a try, says John MC, and it was patient from the Portuguese, not willing to go for the risk of losing that ball, instead just using that backline and forwards coherently. And the Portuguese fans are more than fired up at the moment. Who's going to commentate the box game? It is myself, J9. We will still be live on the channel. We are doing all 3 of the games back to back to back, as well as every single match of the Rugby World Cup. It is just myself doing all the games. I think Latin American kids also fear Chancellor. Says RJJ and Army versus Ref in the Services Men's Rugby League started. Says Robert there, and also South Africa is wild already. We've had nothing, says Stahl. And yes, it's delicious, says Jacqueline for the Lamington. Are you on here tonight, says J9? We certainly are. We are doing the game between the Springboks and Ireland. We've got an hour's build-up for that match as well, where we will be looking through at not just the previous fixtures of this round, looking at what it means for both of those sides moving forward, their team selections, everything along those lines. Lamington Poms with fresh cream but raspberry or chocolate, says Novmum. And against the grain, says Comeback. Yeah, perfect time to score if you are Portugal. They are still $11 underdogs in this game. But that kick, it's just missed. And the end, so 8 points difference between those two sides. 35 minutes into this game. Haven't seen Georgian on in ages. Gonna rename the channel Kiwi Lad. Says Dwayne, nah, Georgia's still been about. We haven't had him on the channel for a little while, mainly because he's been working pretty much flat out. But he has now finished his first seasonal job. So he's probably got maybe about a week or so before he starts up the next one. So, yeah, hopefully we can get him on for one of the live streams. It's just the fact that they're all real early morning games that are quite difficult, and he is normally busy on the weekends and the mornings. Are you going to have a long, or you're going to have a long night? We certainly are. That's a nice break and run here from Portugal. Another chance for them. Kicking in behind. It looks like Ninashvili will be back to cover. But all of a sudden, Portugal have found their second gear. Although Ninashvili now looking for the counter-attack here for the Georgians. Trying to catch Portugal out. Now backline movement. It's all the big forwards. Mamukashvili. That didn't look like a lot of arm wrap from Francisco Fernandez. Might find himself in a bit of trouble here. And it looks like Mamukashvili has stayed down. That looked like a diving tackle in the knees as well. Ninashvili goes off to Aprasitse. This game's at a crazy tempo at the moment. Back across to the captain, Shirakadze. And we are going to have the stoppage due to the injured player. Portugal have awakened. Says Daz, although now they've made that silly decision of going for a no-arms tackle, that may hurt them big time. I'm for Georgia. Says J9, and make sure you're eyeing your tie for South Africa and either match, Hamish. Says Hillary, yep, we are going to have that suit and tie on for that contest. I miss Lamingtons, can't get those here in Tokyo. Custard squares too. Says DJ, and Lamington is a cake cut into squares, rolled in syrup and coconut. Says Stahl. They're just showing this big hit once more. Yeah, that's just it. He's turned away. How high does he hit him? That's a head on head. That's a rare card for the Portuguese number one, Francisco Fernandez. I was going to say silly, but it's just stupid, really. From him, it's going to be at least a yellow card. He is then going to have to go through the process of whether or not they upgrade it. But Portugal, once they have fought back into this game, to throw away a yellow card like that is, I guess, showing a lack of experience, but also just a massive brain fade from the loose head prop. Kiwi, when are you doing a fan meet and greet, says Daz? I think we have to wait a little while. I don't think we've got enough fans to be able to do a meet and greet. Like, if I was anywhere, I would, depending on where I am, I don't know whether or not even 2 people would show up for it. But then saying that, if like 2 people showed up, we'd probably just hang out, go golfing. Golfing would be fun. How many of you guys golf? I'm not the best golfer, but I feel like if I was to ever go to South Africa to go watch a few games of rugby, go to a few braais that I've been invited to, I feel like we'd have to take a trip to the golf course too. I said, kia ora, Hamish, another Beats fan and following from 1,000 subs. Says and Nazi Williams. Yeah, I did miss that. Sorry, Nazi. Didn't mean to. Or in fact, I missed about 7 or 8 messages in a row, didn't I? Oh, yeah, I've got to imagine South Africa losing this game and Scotland beat Ireland, put 100 points against Romania, says Chronic. And lazy, dangerous tackle. Yeah, it was just silly. I'll be honest, Kiwi, I can't play golf. We can learn together, says Dez in there as well. Now, line out throw here, Mamukashvili. Fernandez going to be off the field for at least 10 minutes here. And I believe it will be upgraded to a red card because there was no attempt at wrapping his arms. Now, a new advantage for Georgia. There was ever a time that we're going to see a possible another yellow card. It would be right now. Not even sure that 2 people will show up. Very funny, says Pinky in there. Oh, that was a cross kick. Just goes dead. Another blow of the whistle. Do you know the hot Portuguese sauce? I'm not sure about the spelling, but it's amazing, and apparently it's actually a swear word, says Jacqueline there. I was named after the Russian ballerina Anna Pavlova, says Andre G. Goes hand in hand in South Africa, says G9. Right, collapsing. Now 5 metres out from the line. Georgia at this stage with a man advantage. I would love to think they will go for the kick for either the corner or the scrum. Yeah, I'd hate to see them go for the 3 points. And looks like they are going to be aggressive here. I'd rather go fishing than play golf, unless I'm drunk, says Chronic. No, I don't mind fishing either. Either works. How much time is left, guys? At the moment, there is still 1 minute 30 left in this first half, and then the 40 minutes in the second half. It is still around the corner, so plenty of time left for both of these sides to get more points on the board. On the fly, said howdy, Hamish. Welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing extremely well. Nicely taken there for Georgia at the back of their rolling maul now. They start to get that little bit closer to the try line. Been told to keep it up. It was down by red. They're only 1 metre short of the line now. On the line, held up. And also we have got their carry out on the golf bag is essential. Says Calmac and come on Georgia, says George TV. And also looks like it was in New Zealand, says Akaris there. Yeah, it seems to be, I think it's just that Southern Hemisphere or like that Trans-Tasman rivalry that makes like both sides of the equation think that they were the ones who made it for the Pavlova. I was very curious the other day, or it was actually, I say the other day, it was like 5 years ago, but you could get a Pavlova in an egg. Like not an actual egg, but like a little tiny egg thing, and it would make a whole Pavlova. And I never got to try it because I got one and then it went past its best before date. I'm Georgian, mate. Says George TV. Nice run from Ninashvili. Well, the Georgians looking to get you a try here. They were in touch, though. Just out. I'll drive the golf cart, says J9. I'd also go fishing rather than play golf. The reward is always better, says Stahl. Unless, of course, you don't catch anything. It's almost fishing season here. We're about 9 days, actually less than that, about 7 or 8 days away from fishing season. Me and George are thinking about going on opening day. Of course, that will be depending on when the live streams are for that day. Give me that, the sexiest rugby commentator. Congrats on 34K, says Blues Day. Thank you very much, mate. I don't know about the sexiest rugby commentator. I feel like probably Tony would like to take out that one because he likes to wear his hat. He was here earlier on as well, so if he ever comes back to watch this, if I say that, then he'll be very happy. And like Kiwi, if you come to South Africa, we're not going to play golf. We can go to the rugby field and play touch rugby, says Daz. Okay, and then once I pull my hamstring or my calf muscle, then we go fishing. That sounds like the better plan. We will see the enthusiasm tonight. All eyes on you, says J9. Yeah, I'm nervous for that game. Just around the corner between Ireland and the South Africans. It's actually only 6 hours away from starting. And 5 hours away from the start of that live stream. Come on now, boss, says Blues Nate. Portugal are tackling hard. I'm in full-blown sports mode at the moment, watching this rugby game, also watching the Ireland ladies football game, and going to watch the England versus Canada ladies rugby game, so I'm going to watch all 3 games. And I should mention as well, there is also the Barbarians versus South Africa, the women's game, that is going to be there. I get a lot of speaking my mind, but when George, my man's, love him, does it all good, says Nazi Williams. Yeah, see, that's the thing. George, he's been very close to being cancelled multiple times, but he somehow always just avoids it. Tony, in the word sexy cannot exist in the same sentence as Albert. I think if you pull your hammy, you don't want to go anywhere, says Daz. And get pumped for tonight, says J9. And Matthew Carley was way too much control over the game for a touch judge, says Philippines. Yeah, he seems to like to be the centre of attention. And the games of Portugal are tackling hard, says Annoy there. And Georgian player Lenia is my family member. Nice. Did you watch the Warriors, says Sam? I did see the score at halftime, but I didn't want to watch them just in case I jinxed them. But in the end, yeah, I did see they did get knocked out of the competition. Misha Lenia. And yeah, I'll just look through. Is he playing in this game? And can you imagine those South African pubs tonight watching box so late? Says J9. Yeah, they are going to be absolutely insane getting to watch that game. Like, definitely depending on the result as well. The Greenbock machine, says Blues Nate. And also Aroho Nui Nate. Love you, bro, says Nazi Williams. And there as well. Not today, says George. And same or solid game by the Portuguese, says Blues Nate. And up to Broncos, says Will there. And Georgia must push, says J9. Yeah, throughout this first half, I mean, both sides have had their moments, but I think it was that discipline of Portugal in the end that really hurt them because They got back into the match. They did all the hard work. And then to just throw away a yellow card near the end of the half. I've seen there about Antoine Dupont as well with the facial injury. The amount of people I've seen now that have said France's World Cup hopes are gone because Dupont is gone. I don't think it's that simple. I think that I am still here, ladies and gentlemen. April Fool's. Now my Wi-Fi cut out, unfortunately, which hopefully won't happen again. But if it does, just a warning, we will be resetting the modem so that we are back ready to go in that next very short moment. I'm disappointed in the Warriors' result. With the box win, I'll be happy. Says Annoy in 6 hours away. Squeaky bum time for this Irish. I think Ireland will manage to work out the South Africans. It will be very tight, says Barry there. And not going to lie, the Rugby World Cup is hectic with the new rules and the refs. Using the TMO, says Daz, and the whole South Africa will be drunk after the game tonight. And also, wait, says Robert and Blue Snake. We are back now, though, aren't we? You guys can see me all right, hear me all right, hopefully. I thought it was my Wi-Fi, says Stahl. Nah, my Wi-Fi decided it wanted to cut out, which is quite concerning before the games that we got around the corner. But I'll probably reset the modem, I'd say, before England versus Chile, just to make sure that it is going to be all right. Also, very good there, yes. Says Robert, and also Caitlin has got the hands there, very happy that we are back. I'm very happy we're back too. I was worried for a second. I can't even remember what I was saying before it cut out there. And same, I thought it was my internet. So I could have got away with being like, hey guys, I've been here the whole time. What happened? I think I'm too bad at lying. I actually can't lie to save myself. And I never have been able to, which annoys me a little bit because, like, in any scenario, I just crumble under the pressure. And I turn bright red and it just doesn't work. And France can still win, but they've been really battered by injury. And Australia winning in a defeat to the box, I would make my year. Australia is the underdog against Wales. They are. They come in as slight underdogs in that contest. And also, we have good there. I almost restarted my Wi-Fi. And you are froze, says Stuart. So yeah, we'll be back soon, Stuart. Hopefully, stream down. Yep, we will be back though. Relatively soon. You will get to see us in the future as well. But they are just showing that one try that the Georgians were able to get for themselves of Tabut. And all good now, says DJ. If Georgia beats Fiji or Wales, can Oz still progress? I believe so. I think that if Australia win up against Wales, that will be a massive one for them. And then that's the thing. Fiji up against Georgia is the game that I think the Fijians may be most concerned about in terms of it could be close. Could put them under a lot of pressure. Kiwis full of jokes, says Daz. Both teams showing some mean fitness, says Philippines, and all good now. Says Stuart, you were the culprit. Love the fact that you never lie, says Stull there. Just showing that highlight. The knock-on of Abrasidze. Portugal. A great moment right near the end of the half when they were able to score themselves that try. Perfect. All sound and audio is good, says Jacqueline. And how are you, Hamish? Wales and the All Blacks in the finals, says David. Tell you what, that would be probably a final that not many people have called if that was the case. Yeah, it would be an interesting one. Last time the All Blacks played Wales, I think it was a relatively close game at the Principality. If I'm not wrong there. That second half just around the corner as well, ladies and gentlemen. I was looking at the stats when the Wi-Fi cut out, so I'm not going to look at those stats again. But I did see that it's heavily in favour of possession and territory, both going the way of Georgia. We are back. Says Aiden and Hamish just popping in to say congrats on the 34K. Let's go. All Blacks bring it home, gentlemen. Says, thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. All Blacks versus Italy just around the corner. An intriguing game because Italy haven't played too badly in their last few outings. And you wonder whether or not New Zealand, with a few changes in their side, might get themselves that little bit more momentum. Big yawn from Amish. I had to hold on to my desk there, says on the fly. It was a relatively big yawn, I should say. It's Tesla here. Says you're incognito again, Tesla. I know you had to change your name last time because of like some tax evasion. Mate, you need some caffeine, says Chronic. I think I just need a banana. Banana will do the job. Will D-Mac get a run versus Italy? I think that they might consider him at least off the bench. Well, have some water. Helps for yawning, says Stull. Are you Italy looking dangerous? Are going to be a banger this weekend, says I. There as well. They are just showing there that one try once more for the Georgians. I would have thought we'd have more than the one try for each side throughout this first half, but they're relatively evenly matched currently. I feel like maybe Portugal did just maybe not go as aggressive as they should have. Do you sleep, Kiwi lads? Sometimes, not as much as I should on the weekends, but that is just due to the hectic schedule that we have got. Yeah, them damn tax people always after me. I'll probably have to change my name in a few months, says Tesla there. You think he's going to get a red card? I think so. It was reckless. He didn't really look like he had any intent on not hurting the guy, so I think it will be upgraded to a red card, and that will hurt Portugal's chances in this game quite a bit. If Australia lose tomorrow, will Eddie Jones win the record for quickest sacking in international rugby, says Calmac? I don't think so. I think they'll look at Eddie as the long game rather than just a burst in the early stages. At the end of the day, he is looking towards that 2027 Rugby World Cup, trying to find the best way for Australia moving forward. I call it Eddie Jones will get a red card. Hello, Blues Nate. Hope you are well. I hope you're looking after our brother Hamish, says Tesla. He certainly is. He's been on so many of these live streams throughout the last few months. He's a very busy boy. That looks like some real good watermelon in the changing sheds. And watermelon at the moment, to buy a whole watermelon from Countdown, I think is like $55. So those players, they are, without even knowing it, living the luxury right there. In fact, we're going to Google how much a watermelon is at the moment. Should we have a watermelon fund to try and get a whole watermelon? That would have to be a large fund. Watermelon. What we got? No, they're not even selling them at the moment at the local one. We have got their cheer, mate. Says Blues Day. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. Yeah, we'll certainly have to spend the money on the cheer rather than a watermelon. I think would be a better call. You guys excited about South Africa versus Ireland? I say good luck to the best team. Says Stull, yeah, it's going to be a great game. I just hope that it's relatively close going down to the wire, because I feel like that's the kind of game that everyone wants to see in that regard. That Portugal got try had me jump out of my seat. Says the Tom. Crazy times in the rugby world right now. Fiji beating Australia may be very happy, man. Says Tesla there. Well, I have wild watermelons coming up all over my garden. Delicious and free. Says on the fly. Yeah, I'm a bit sad that a couple years ago I didn't consider planting watermelons in the garden, because they have got, like, I think it was, we got pumpkin out there. And there were courgettes at one point. They were growing massive. Big old courgettes. But, yeah, I feel like if I had the chance again to plant watermelons, I would. You know? I love the haka. Says Penny Lane. Yeah, the All Blacks, of course, going to be in action next weekend. Keep some funds aside for a new tie, says Caitlin. Yeah, I had to get a special tie for the finals, won't I? A little bit of a different one rather than the blue and white. But then also, someone said earlier on that I should purchase a throne rather than a chair. I feel like you guys wouldn't be able to take me seriously, though, if I was sitting here with, like, armrests up to here, being like, we're commentating the rugby. It just wouldn't feel right, you know? Wouldn't feel like the grassroots style that we have. Although this chair is uncomfortable, so anything would be an upgrade, I'd say. Second half just about underway, ladies and gentlemen. $15 New Zealand for a whole watermelon here in Tokyo. That's pretty reasonable. Tonight you have to wear the suit and a Springbok tie, says on the fly. I do not actually own a Springbok tie, is the only thing. Can you buy Springbok ties? Springbok tie. You can. It is $50 by the looks of it for Springbok ties. That's quite high priced. I could buy a Springbok bucket hat for less than that. You ever have watermelon jam made from the peels, says Style? I have not, no. Probably would taste all right, though, does it? Prediction for the score between South Africa and Ireland. Who's going to take it? I'm thinking 17 points to 15 in favour of the Boks. That's the prediction that I've gone with right throughout. I'm going to stick with it, but the benefit for the Irish supporters is I am normally 95% wrong with predictions, so that means you've got a high chance of winning. What's the time difference? With calling these games, Hamish, I bet it's rough knowing these games as usually early hours of the morning here, says Tesla. So yeah, at the moment, I mean, we're sitting 1 a.m. at this current time. We've got a donation from Nazi Williams as well. Thank you very much. He's got Hey You with the peer in there as well. But yeah, it's normally, I've been trying to get more of a Northern Hemisphere time zone going over the last little while. But that is because without that, I would be absolutely exhausted, or more exhausted than I already am through doing that Northern Hemisphere time zone. Are you wearing the AB suit for the Boks and the Irish game? We are going to be wearing the suit, yes. It's to the side, all ready to go. All I got to do is tie the tie and put it on. And we have got there the crown from Caitlin. And yeah, let's go, says Blues Nate. But now the second half, just around the corner, ladies and gents. The second half, I feel like if Portugal can fire early with their man disadvantage, which they probably will have throughout the rest of this one, can someone donate $50 to Hamish to get the Springbok tie, says on the fly. The only problem is it's from a random site that I've never heard of. And also alongside that, I think it's going to get here on 4th of October. Which is not good. Oh, it's going to remain at a yellow card. I could get like a green tie, like a navy coloured tie would work, maybe. It just wouldn't have the Bok logo on it. Canada versus England in 30 minutes also, Hamish. I see you there, says Ian Foster. You will not know. England versus Chile, the next game that we are covering. That is going to be taking place at 4:45 a.m. New Zealand time, which is in 2 hours, 45 minutes. Watermelon peels is delicious. Check the recipe on YouTube. You will love it and never waste it again. We've got another donation from Nazi Williams. That man is going for it. At the moment, thank you very much, Nazi. Hugely appreciate it, mate. Nicely taken inside of the 22. So the yellow card will remain as a yellow. It's pretty big in a way because I thought that it could have easily been upgraded to a red card. But Mangali Harvey is making a return in the 23 jersey, says Ian Foster. I'll probably end up watching it on the other screen while I'm in between streams, though. You deserve it, bro, says Nazi. Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, like you said earlier on, you've been here since before 1,000, which is, yeah, hugely appreciate it. Nazi wants you to have that tie, Hamish. Says on the fly, I think that you want me to have that tie on the fly, and Nazi's donation is a way of you getting me to get that tie, which is strategic. I noticed that Bok $50 tie was actually, it had like the Springbok flag and flames, or like the South African flag and flames, so I think the better one would be just to get the like green kind of tie rather than the Springbok one per se. Surprised it's saying yellow. Says Calmick, yeah, I honestly thought that might have been upgraded. Knock on there on the halfway line from Portugal. That is correct. Okay, I've got there, Nazi and Nate. Are madmen where's Steve Smith these days? That's a good question. We haven't seen Steve Smith in the last about year and a half. So I do hope he's all right. But yeah, he's gone incognito. We haven't seen him around. They are playing Crazy in Love of Beyonce in the stadium, says Joe D. Now Fernandez still going to be off the field for another 4 minutes or so. And in that time, if Georgia can score themselves another try, it may be just enough to get them over the line in this match. But if Portugal can score with a man disadvantage, they will still be well and truly in the match. We support our Kiwis, says Nazi Williams. Hello, hello, hello. Says Dylan Simpson. Welcome in, mate. And there was a consumer alert here about exploding watermelons. Exploding watermelons. Jeez. I think I'll join the dono train. Big up Georgia, says Tesla in there as well. Yeah, the Georgians with their 8-point lead at the moment. I feel like that on the World Cup streams, there has been the trend, which is some live streams, there will be 0 donations. which, like I always say, whether or not there's donations or anything, we're still going to be doing these live streams. We're still going to be taking part in them. But then there's streams that everyone seems to join in. You know, if that makes sense. My mini man giving us some real stuff. Says Nazi Williams, and hold up there, Hamish. I need to add my payment method. Says Tesla there. And New Zealand versus Bangladesh, at cricket. Says Robert, but the ball has gone into touch for the Georgians. I think that was Shirikard there, just making a little bit of a mistake. And also Steve Smith dropping Hundy's donations. And also we have got there Musco for the Portuguese, says Obi. A line out through here for Tajir. Slinging this one off to the left-hand side. Good backline movement from Portugal. Flat pass. Now gets it out wide. I believe that is going to be Morta. We've hardly seen him, or Marta, sorry, I should say. Alcohol plays a role in donations. Says Albert, I wish I was Steve Smith rich. Says Tesla, exploding watermelons are bursting with flavour. Says Kelmac. Just hand slips into touch for Marta. Does force the turnover. And men's mining in Australia, they pay good money. Says I. Yeah. Works hard. I think he was doing like 60-hour weeks when he was still able to join on some of the live streams, which was massive. Big up the tie, 6 hours time. Or bring up the tie in 6 hours time. Guaranteed there is a South African in New Zealand will donate you one within the 24 hours, says Big V. I think it's quite hard to find a South African tie. I actually have a few South African schoolboy rugby ties. Big Zolas in mining. And also South Africa might come second against Ireland, then they'll be the best in the end. Another clever trick, says Stahl. And Chinese e-bikes explode, says Blues Nick. Oh, sorry, that was actually Albert. There's another big yawn, isn't it? I think it's just because I haven't had breakfast yet. We will be fine later on, less yawning taking place, of course. Portugal celebrating that one again because this all uses up a bit more time of the yellow card that they have received. Only a minute and 40 seconds remaining. Anyone wondering about the betting odds currently? Portugal are $15 underdogs in this game up against the Georgians. Oh, another scrum reset here from Ben O'Keefe. Oh, sorry, not Ben O'Keefe, Paul Williams. It made me yawn, says bystander. I do apologise for that. That actually seems to happen quite a bit. If I yawn, you guys sometimes yawn as well. So I do apologise for doing that. Now Marquez feeding the ball in. DuPont was operated on last night at 11 p.m. at Toulouse Hospital. He will play in the quarterfinal. Says Jody, you look tired today. Says Megan, it is only because we've had a few massive days. Overall, we've been running on limited sleep. But then also we've been doing big hours while we've been awake as well. A lot of editing taking place. I think my eyes are a bit bloodshot already. And we are only on the about 4th day of commentary this week. Now Portugal, 45 metres out from the line here. Big fry up with a pint of coffee needed, Hamish, says Calmac. Here it's the afternoon, says Stull, with it being addictive. Now Marquez. Cross again. It was Tapushka. Penalty advantage against the Georgian. Nice running forward from Portugal. If they can stay in this match and take it down to the wire, that's very high. Round the neck, almost round the forehead for that one. Now, backline movement for the Portuguese. Kicking in behind and the ball just goes dead. We've got another donation from Blues Nate, this time with the super sticker. I saw it and screamed Sui. I heard the Ronaldo Sui when they scored the try the other day. It was, in fact, Lewis Rees-Zammit. That is the cheer drifting from Blues Nate. And the man Nate, so awesome, says Nazi. And he was all right. It might end up being a yellow card now against Georgia here. Okay, they're going to take on the 3 points rather than going for the corner. And this will use up the rest of the time that they will have their number one off the field. Now he is allowed to make his way out there. I want the upset, says Dylan there. Shame y'all lick a ding. I have a coffee, says Jacqueline. Francisco Fernandez now back out onto the park. Some would call him lucky for not getting the red card, but now they need to make the most of him being out there for the Portuguese. To make it a 5-point difference here for the Portuguese. The kick is good from Marquez, and that will now make the score 13 points to 8. I'll be honest, Georgia, they need to be very careful in the later stages of this contest, because if they do not get it right here, they might be in some trouble. I'd like to think that Georgia late in the game, though, should get more momentum in their favour, you know? But it's just very hard to tell. We've got the Sui donation there from I. Now Georgia got Portugal just outside. Portugal 22 and 13 points to 8, says Joe D there, and 56 likes, better than the 27 last night. Says Dahlia, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We have got England versus Chile. Different Portugal team second half. Yeah, they're looking a lot more aggressive, although there's still been some good moments for the Georgians. I believe running it from the back, it would have been Todoa, Awara and G, and Nate Dog about to drop it like a hot Snoop and a dog pound, says Blue Snake. Now, Tabasatse, man, who did score the try. That was almost a Portuguese turnover. Back across Abrasadsi. It's just good phase play from Georgia. They don't look like they're going to burst through as of yet, but for now it's just about trying to get those couple extra chances. With these donations, you can afford the Springbok tie, says Albert. Although the slight problem is the fact that it said that it would arrive on the 4th of October, which is a little bit late. This is a great counter-ruck here, or counter-attack from the Portuguese, moving up to 5 metres out from the line. It was Appleton to charge forward. Now Portugal to get back into the contest. Over the ball though for Georgia. That has to, I thought it had to be the penalty, but it was not quite the case. Still 5 metres out from the try line. Marquez trying to work out where the best passing option is. It's going to be Simois rather than giving it off to Marta, who is waiting for it next to the breakdown. I think that he's made his way off his wing though. Now Marquez back across to Portela. Inside ball, it's knocked on by Portugal. And Abrasidze does get it into touch. Portugal have the line out, only the 23 metres out from the line. Great low shot coming in. The counter-ruck, it was actually Marquez who started that counter-ruck as well there. And how often have the two teams played each other? It doesn't happen too often, I don't think, other than in that European second league. I think we get to see it just a little bit. But maybe like once every couple years, I would say. Subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Says I there as well. Thank you very much, mate, once again, for your generosity. Now slapped back by Portugal. Marta does the step, does the fend as well, getting through some of the big Georgian forward pack. No advantage now for Portugal once more. Back across there. Big attacking run from Mike to Gia. Portugal, they have all the momentum at the moment in this fixture. Back across to the right-hand side. Quick hands once more. Inside ball. Doesn't quite get it away by a green tie and print some small Springboks and stick them on it. Now within a metre, although, of course, a lot of people prefer when I am impartial and I don't have a suit that is favour one side. Now left-hand side, sells the dummy, goes himself. There were about 4 players on his outside that he should have gone to. Another penalty advantage against the Georgians though. This might be close to a yellow card offence here, being so close to the try line. Come on, Portugal, says Joe D. Sorry, Nate, don't know how to do that single highlight, thank you. Says Nazi Williams, and yeah, come on, Portugal. Portugal too quick for themselves. Now at the back line, cut out pass, goes into touch once more. Now double blow of the whistle here. I should mention the Portuguese have gone down to $5.50 underdogs. Another donation there. And Nazi and Nate Goats, pick up Amish. Says Dezo, thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it once more. Like I said, it seems to be like when one of you guys start doing it, everyone just seems to pick up on that train, which is, I mean, it's incredible support as well. And we will be putting it towards that cheer we are hoping to get at some stage soon. What's the time going to be for the Ireland versus South Africa game? So local time in South Africa, I believe it is going to be a 9 p.m. kickoff. So a relatively late night game for you guys in South Africa. Or if you're in Ireland, I believe it's 8 p.m. as the two times. And let's go, says the Blues now. Come on, Portugal, says Megan. And let's go, Georgia. And 8 p.m. in Ireland, says Benny Lamb. But now Portugal look like they will be opting for the 3 points. Do we buy stickers to donate? Says Dylan, that is one of the options that they have got. Or you can do a message as well from the certain amount with that little dollar sign. But like I always say, donations, they are hugely appreciated, but they aren't mandatory. Like you guys, if you don't want to donate, if you aren't in a position to donate, that is completely fine as well. At the end of the day, we just love having you guys here. Another donation from Nuzzy Williams. It is the super sticker once more with a cool, and it is a peer. France time says Happy and Beast. I believe it is either 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. depending on whereabouts you are in France. I think 8 p.m. for actually it might be 9 p.m. for a majority actually. Portugal is a beautiful country, says I, and Portugal must have got a hairdryer treatment at halftime, says Calmac. And also Georgia. Says Murder SAC. Oh, well, 13 points to 11, but now Portugal closing that gap that little bit more. And I believe Georgia are on their last warning here in terms of if they give away any more penalties from inside of their 22, they will end up with that yellow card. You're too truthful and honest, says Starwin. 9 p.m. in France, says Penny Lane. And I go out, come back, and Portugal are still in this, says Flesh. Yeah, they've been doing very nicely. 53 minutes through the game as well, I should mention. How did 2 points in it nice come up on screen? Interesting. I guess good job cited. Did I have that up the whole time? Did I ever put Nazi? Hopefully I put Nazi's super sticker on. I thought that I did. And then it must have changed, I guess, in that regard. Dylan. Thank you very much, Dylan. Love the channel. Thank you very much. Hugely appreciated. I've gone bright red. As you guys may know, sometimes when we get that big pink or red donation, my face somehow matches it. It's like I'm a chameleon. But yeah, thank you very much, Dylan. Hugely appreciated for that one. And I always say it goes straight back into the channel. And yeah, that will certainly go a long way. So yeah, thank you very much. Yes, sir, brothers. We support the bro here. Can't imagine the hard grind, staying up all these hours, consistently calling the games. Love to see the grind, says I. You're the man now, David Simpson. High five, says a Blues Nate there as well. Now kick back down the field. Nicely taken at the back. The young number 10, Geronimo Portela. He was close to breaking the line. You give me many hours of goodness and positivity over time, Hamish, says Nazi Williams. And I mean, that's the main goal of the channel. Like when we started it, it was all about creating a rugby community that we can just chat to about the games. We can create, I guess, a place where people could go. And that was during the times of lockdown as well. So when people weren't able to talk to anyone, felt like this was a cool way of being able to like have a miniature watch-along group that just get to enjoy the games. The cheer boss, says Blues Nate. And Big Dollar, says Blues Nate there. And that's pounds too, says, oh yeah, it's absolutely huge from Dylan Simpson there. And also the clapping from Jacqueline. And yes, pounds sterling. Okay, Costa has now made his way onto the field. That is for Francisco Fernandez, who has quite a fan base for someone who almost clotheslined someone earlier on. And £50 is 1,000 Rand Dam, says Happen Beast. Or Happen Beast, I should say. And League, don't respect your dad, says Nazi Williams. That is true. We also have done a bit of League over the time, as well as the cricket. Hamish says Jacqueline looking good for Georgia, says Stan there. £1 is like $2 here for us Kiwi fellas. Yeah, it's massive. Oh, out the back line, McCarver has made his way off the bench for the Georgians, and they are starting to feel a little bit of the pressure. I think that's why they've gone to the subs a bit earlier than normal. And sorry I'm so late. Says Rudy, no worries at all, mate. It is better late than never, as the saying goes. And there's still 2 more games taking place. A little bit later on, love the way world communication is shrinking, says Stahl. And if Portugal put their boot in their pocket, they will win this, says Colin. Yeah, they're within the 2. Come on, Portugal, you can do it, says Megan Crow. That's out on the full by Georgia. And now going right back to where it was kicked from. Hamish, bro, your new video on cricket match. A long time miss your cricket class and batting practice. Says Michelle, well, we did have cricket practice recently. It was actually on Wednesday, so we are getting close to the start of the season. I think I will have to miss, I don't know whether or not I'll be missing the first couple games of the season due to the Rugby World Cup and then picking it up after that. But, yeah, should be good. Should be exciting this year. Nicely taken by Portugal. 45 metres out from the line and a great attack and prowess of this Portuguese side looking to chase their first ever Rugby World Cup win. They have played 24 occasions, of which Georgia have won 20, compared to the 4 from Portugal, says Mark. So yeah, it will certainly mean a lot for the Portuguese. Beautiful inside ball. And now Storti once again has put his foot down, scores the try for Portugal. And they have now taken the lead for the first time in this match. Storti's got burners for days and just blinds his way past the defence. Try, says Rhett. And also they have played, no, I read that one, didn't I? And oops, says J9, but brilliant work from Storti to get over the try line once more. Rafael, he's got 2 in this match. And yes, and Joe D has given us the €2 super sticker there as well. Thank you very much, Joe D. Hugely appreciated. And why Georgia shocking, says J9. They just aren't finding their rhythm, are they? We've got the GG controller pop up from Joe D in there as well. It'll be huge if they can pull it off. Go Portugal. I bet $20 on Portugal to win 700, says Anthony. So you'll be a very happy man at the moment. I will mention, if you do feel like Georgia have got a chance later on in the game, a cash out is also an option for you. You know, don't be afraid to cash out if it does get close down to the wire. But I believe now Georgia, they are now underdogs in this game. Thought Georgia had it, says Stahl. And beautiful rugby played by Portugal, says Rick there. And the kick is successful, making the score now 18 points to 3. I've matched your sleep schedule, slept at 4 p.m. Woke up midnight, says Jack. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one at the moment for us Kiwis, trying to keep up with the sleep schedule of the Northern Hemisphere. Like even trying to do a Northern Hemisphere time zone, I've ended up going to sleep at what would have been like 6 a.m. in the Northern Hemisphere, waking up at lunchtime. Up there, lovely try that. Says Flesh and cracker of a try, says Yvonne there. Well, the passion from the Portugal coach here, they are absolutely loving it. And they're now in the box seat for this game. Georgia have lost all their momentum at halftime. I don't know what's happened, but yeah, it just hasn't quite worked for them throughout the second half. Although Georgia close to winning the penalty now in their favour. Yes, they do get it. I believe they'll go for the 3 points. Get back a little bit closer in this game now. Lovely try there. And I mentioned about it earlier on in the game as well. Georgia's lack of ability at times to score tries is actually what has been hurting them. Graveyard shift for us Kiwis just to watch these banger matches, says Tesla there. And the Northern Hemisphere says Penny. And 11 more points, says G13. That one. Oh, they've gone for the corner here, Georgia. This will be intriguing. Georgians not drinking enough of their special wine. They know for their good wine, and Georgia ate too much watermelon. Tell you what, if there was watermelon in the changing sheds and I was playing, that watermelon, I probably would have been like 90% water going into the second half from consuming it all. Now, I think that was knocked on by Georgia, and yeah, Portugal actually end up with the ball now. Where's Georgia, says Jay? It is in Europe. I've just entered proceedings. Have gone for a Georgia to win. Portugal scores, good one. And congrats to the Iberian men. Draw now, maybe, could be. I like close games, exciting, excellent coverage, says Stephen. Thank you very much. And latitude has nothing to do with the time zones unless you're travelling yourself. You got a longer time in the year, says PJ. Okay, another penalty goes the way of Georgia. And the fact that they've made so many changes at this point of the game tells you not only that they are starting to fatigue, but also the fact that they feel like maybe it hasn't quite worked for them yet. I'm not watching this one. How are Portugal winning? What's going on with this Rugby World Cup? Upsets everywhere. Nice little pop pass up for the Georgians. It's held up. He's kept on his back. Portugal defending with every last inch and fibre of their beings there to stop them from scoring. We've got there in the Caucasus Mountains. Says Gusson loved the reaction of the Portuguese coach, and thanks for the broadcast, says Winard in there as well. Or Winand, I should say, but thank you very much, mate, for being here. Ian Foster, mate, you have Italy to beat, says I. But yeah, Portugal have just had those little moments in this game where they've won important penalties. They've got important turnovers in the process as well, but now kicked up high from Ninashvili from inside of his own half. Only 20 minutes remaining. Nicely taken there by the Portuguese number 7, Nicolas Martins. Now Portugal still in possession. Using their backline. We can hear the crowd heavily getting behind them. Guedes there with the straightening run. You think you're tough up the Irish? Says save 20 Gs. I don't think I'm tough. Save 20 Gs. In fact, I'm probably very weak compared to a lot of people. A good save. Portugal want to win, says Jody. Also 66 likes as a regal. Go guys, like a nice Portugal, says Megan. And also disciplined boys come on and good save. Portugal want to win, says Jody. Nicely taken in the air from Mata. Couldn't find his offload, but now 30 metres out from the line. Portugal with another chance. And Georgia does have good one, says Jacqueline. Now back across to the right here. Appleton. Wide slinging pass from their fly half Portela. Portugal can score now and convert. They will be in a position where it would be very tough to lose this game. Georgia in the breakdown searching for the ball. Not quite able to get it now. A little bit of a salad dummy there from Marquez as if he was going to kick it, but instead now they do sling it out wide for the Portuguese. Isolated though out on the wing. It was close to the turnover for Georgia. I love an underdog story, but a Portugal win. It will be used against Georgia to keep them out of Tier 1. Sees Yvonne and South Africa 10, Ireland 6. Says on the fly. Now backline movement again for Portugal. Nice run from Betancourt. I've been told to use the crowd well and truly now behind the Portuguese. What's the live viewing record, Hamish? Hopefully we crush it in the World Cup final. Says, I believe at the moment it's around 6,000 at one time, which is absolutely insane. That's a great mark taken. And the penalty will go the way of Georgia due to the player being taken out in the air. Great commentary as always. Thanks, says Michael. Thank you very much. And South Africa 32, Ireland 29. Says J9. Just in the air on Tabutsadze. I think that he might be staying down a bit longer because of the pace that this game's being played at. How much time left, says Megan? Still another 17 minutes remaining. Yeah, I don't think he got injured in the process. Getting a bit of a drink. Going to be the penalty, though, to Georgia. And how's it, guys? Just joined. Very impressed by Portugal, says George. Portuguese one's not bad either. And think Portugal are doing amazing. Yeah, they've kept this game extremely competitive. Now, my prediction for this contest, I believe I said that Georgia would win 23 points to 18 or something along those lines. Which, to be honest, at the moment is very doable for these teams. I'll just make sure that I have got that exact score line. And haven't got it slightly wrong. One moment, we go like this. Go like that. Now, line out claimed by the Georgians. And have some Georgian heritage supporting Georgia in rugby just as Georgian legions, says La Chica. Now running it back, it will be Guedes inside ball there for Portugal, but they are still... No, he's got back up. He's actually... I don't know whether he was allowed to do that, but it is going to be play on for sure, Nate. I'll be here for all the finals, the quarters, and the semis, etc. Says Desla. Now backline movement, looking for the risky offload. Knock on there on the ground from the Portuguese. Could end up being their own worst enemy here if they keep on having handling issues. 25 points to 22 was my prediction. He couldn't have waited 2 seconds until the player landed, says Yvonne. It takes a bit of a bobble on the turf. So I said that one of these teams by 3, but I did say Georgia by 3. But they'd have to score 2 tries, and I don't know whether or not they've got that in them at the moment. Looks like another player is down at the moment for Georgia. I think at this stage, some players are just taking a bit of a knee so that they can have a bit more of a break. They want to give their players drinks. Yeah, see, I can understand why the Portuguese side are annoyed there, because Georgia, they were giving a few of their players drinks, including the player who was injured. And then from there, Portugal were like, well, if they're doing it, we might as well run out onto the field and do it. And they were like, no. And Pele over Ronaldo and Messi says, Sam Mikel, far too much of a gap there, says, was Paul Williams and Portugal's wire is a bit sweet and not bad at all. Their milk tart is much better than ours, says Jacqueline. And 36 for South Africa, 12 for Ireland or something in that region, says Stahl. South Africa 7-1 squad, whoop whoop, says J9 there. Now 15 minutes remaining. Your score could still happen. Should be very close, I think. Although I think I'm unlucky with Portugal sitting on 18 because I don't think they can get to 22 from here, although they get themselves the penalty now. How do you know Norm Maxwell Amish, says Stuart? He was actually a viewer on the channel for a bit of time. Seeing as he was in Spain, it was quite hard to find the rugby coverage, so I think he tuned in for one of the Super Rugby live streams. Then from there, we started emailing each other, and then since then, he's been on the channel about 10 times or so, which is quite awesome. He is our channel friend, I guess you could say, honorary Kiwi lad. We have got 60-minute mark is usually where fitness comes into play and bench strengths become a factor. Says Sidon, that player in the air collision was hardly a hit. I hope this isn't becoming like soccer where someone can milk a BS contact for penalties, says Hanger Rat. And good game. And also Portugal says it was Alexandre. And I have anxiety with our boys making the semis. But Jordan needs to be 15. D-Mac needs to be 10. Roy Gard starting over Aaron. That's just what I think. Mark Tillier needs to start too. Bodie says Tesla. But now only 14 minutes remaining. Portugal, another beautiful opportunity for them to get over the try line. Currently sitting at 14 minutes remaining. And Tajir with the line-out throw. Are you getting some kip? And before the next game, I certainly am. I'll probably end up having a banana in between the two streams. Although I might have time to cook something in between them, which might be quite nice. Now a big run forward from, I believe it was Martins. Ball's gone backwards. Now Ferreira. 10 metres from the line. A try now converted, I think, would almost seal the deal for the Portuguese. So I don't know whether or not Georgia have got enough left in their gas tank to be able to counter. Now Marquez back across to the right-hand side. How long to the South Africa Island game? It has taken place in only around that 5 hours time or somewhere around there. Now looking for the pass on the outside. It will be knocked on by Portugal once more. Every time they get close, it's just that little handling error at the moment that is costing them. You must drink a bottle of wine to have energy for the next game, says Megan. I think just having breakfast will be a good start. Overall, that is probably the main thing. Plus, I've had the fire going today, so it's quite warm in here at the moment, so that might be why I'm feeling quite cozy. When is your break? Before your hour warm-up, says J9. I don't get much of one before the hour build-up for the South Africa versus Ireland game. I think I get like maybe 10 minutes in between where I might get to eat something very quickly, just get my voice back a little bit more, and then we're straight back in. Ish 33 wickets took, and Kyle Jameson 1 wicket, and remaining 9 minutes. And also, it's the Springboks, or if the Springboks beat Ireland tonight, the All Blacks are waiting in the quarters, so that might be the real World Cup final then, says Michael. You need to wear a tie tonight, says J9. That is the plan. So yeah, that will be what's happening in that 10-minute break as well. I'll be getting the suit on. May not get time to eat anything, but then, yeah, straight back into the commentary afterwards. That will be a free kick now for Georgia from inside of their 22. 19th time lucky, says Session. And also keep us posted for the show. And nearly a try for Portugal. They're right on the verge, aren't they? Portugal on the verge of the first World Cup win. Yeah, it would be a historic victory for the Portuguese. Give them a lot of confidence moving forward in this competition. They have still got their games up against the Fijians as well as Australia. What's going on with the beard of yours, Hamish? I thought it was going. Says Hanger Rat. I mean, the beard, it doesn't really grow even, unfortunately. And sleep through England versus Chile. Nobody needs that commentary anyway. Then you'll be all good for the next match, says PJ. Now we are going to be doing every match of this Rugby World Cup. That is the goal. That was the aim at the start. So we're going to go with that. We can always sleep after the South Africa versus Ireland game, although we will have a post-match review coming out first and then probably 1 or 2 videos to edit. Alongside that, Portugal wins. Means the Springboks will win. I'm Portuguese born in South Africa. My blood is green, says Mario. Now backline movement again for Portugal, going out to the right-hand side. Stortia. Every time he's broken forward, he's almost scored. He was tackled a little bit high there, I felt. Dragged down back. Fair enough, good on you, says PJ. And there was a high tackle from Georgia. I thought it was Storta. Thought it was as well. Sorry, Storti. Are they going to check this one? Maybe you really are the Terminator, says George. But great backline movement here. Storti. He wanted the hat trick. How high was he tackled? Oh, no, I think he's all right there. I think it slipped down. Oh, we need more country playing rugby, says Jodine. South Africa says Hanger at, and Megan is right. Just have some wine. You'll be all right, says Jacqueline. Couple changes being made now for Georgia. And it is going to be a Georgian line out here, 5 metres out from their own line. Ball's thrown over the top, nicely claimed there though. So far the line outs for Georgia, 9 out of 11 that they have been able to win. Tie with blue dot, says J9. That will probably be the one that we do go with. South Africa here, says Megan. Now decent clearance, 25 metres from the line. Have some coffee with Cremora, says George. And nah, says Callamack. 5 points difference. I'm just doing the maths in my head. 10 minutes remaining. Portugal currently are $1.15 favourites. Georgia coming as $5.75 underdogs for this match. Is Nando South African or Portuguese? Says Sir Mikhail. Not actually sure where Nando's originated. I'm going to watch the England game in a pub full of English fans and small. I hope they get beat. Says Flesher. To come on, Portugal so close to history, says Alejandro. Yeah, if they get one more try, it should almost be enough for them to get themselves the winning points. 25 metres from the line. Marquez has been evident throughout this performance from the Portuguese. An extremely important aspect. The turnover is good from Georgia, though. They get themselves another penalty. And they are still in this fight. They should try some drop goals, says cited there, and was founded in South Africa by a Portuguese guy, says Jack. We have got there 75 or 70. It is currently 71 minutes through. That is a little bit quick. Following the game from my holiday home on the silver coast of Lisbon. The Portugal against the Netherlands was played in our town where they won 63-0. And Nando's is Portuguese. And Nando's is South African, says Session. That seems to split opinions for that one. And Portugal haven't beaten Georgia in 18 matches. Crazy that they are favourites, says Session. Yeah, at the moment they are sitting quite nicely, although you wonder whether or not near the end of this game there is a late chance for the Georgians. I mentioned now they were $5 underdogs. Just winning that penalty puts them down to $2. Nicely taken by Georgia now with the rolling maul chance. Going to be taken down legally by the Portuguese. The last thing they want to do is give away any extra penalties here. And Nando's is is a South African company. Says Rudy, it's Portuguese food. The company is South African, says Dylan Simpson. And there as well. Okay. Portuguese food. I don't think I've ever been to a Nando's to have chicken. I think I've had chips from Nando's, which I feel was a massive waste to not try the chicken. The old big run going up. No, there's a knock-on in the process from the Georgians. And now Portugal have got themselves another scrum feed. But yeah, I feel like the next time... Where is the closest Nando's to me? Probably 3 hours away. Here we go. Nando's near me. The nearest Nando's New Zealand locator is in Christchurch, which is about 3 hours away from myself. Or in Dunedin, which is about 2.5 hours. So a little way. Get some chicken. Nando's started in South Africa by the Portuguese, says Mario. And also all of their recipes are 100% Portuguese. And don't mention Nando's chickens. The shop closed, says Blues Nate. And also Nando's always have chili foods. That means founded by Portuguese. And come on, Portugal, says Megan. But now Marquez, he will be going off the field. But he has had a brilliant performance. Definitely a man of the match contender here with what he's been able to do. He looks disappointed, though. He wanted to be out there for the last moments of the game. He's done everything that he could have. Nando's is 8. I'll take Popeye's chicken over Nando's. Where do you think is the closest Popeye's? I don't even know if we have Popeye's. Maybe Popeye's. Chicken near me. It says it's in London, but I am not in London. Launching in New Zealand in late February, apparently. So it may not be here yet, but it might be here at some stage in the future. And Popeyes is American. You need a braai. Says J9 well, Hamish, where do you live that there's no Nando's near you? So I'm in a very small town in the South Island, halfway in between Christchurch and Dunedin. We don't even have like a KFC or a McDonald's here. You have to travel 30 minutes to get to one. We have like a fish and chip shop. That's a big push there from the Georgians, but just staying on the side of Portugal now, currently 72.5 minutes through this game, ladies and gents. It does seem like it is going to be going right down to the wire. It's an offside penalty advantage now. Portugal looking to go in behind. They had the advantage, so they will be going back to kick it into touch. 7 minutes, says Rhett. And also we have got the Hamish. You need a good old South African braai, mate. Says on the fly and fish and chips are lekker. Says Session. And hoodie guy. Says J9. Now, this clock is very deceptive, ladies and gentlemen. It's actually 7 minutes remaining in this game. And nothing wrong with crispy fish and chips. And also we have got there Popeyes is almost KFC, but not quite better than KFC, says Stalin. I recommend Popeyes if you get the chance, especially the spicy chicken, says Gus. Now 40 metres out from the line for the Portuguese. And also we have got there, can you order takeaways in your town? You can, but you do have to go get them yourself. Like you can't like get anything delivered. Like you'd have to ring up, go, yeah, I'll get this, thank you, and then you go down in like 15 minutes and get it. Now there's delivery to my area. A bike logo says poultry in motion. Says sighted now going off to the right hand side for Portugal. It is Betancourt. Ball has popped out the back. Appleton now goes off to Mata. He was nailed in that shot. Perhaps Georgia deciding that physicality is the way forward. Ben O'Keefe, or sorry, not Ben O'Keefe, Paul Williams was about to blow the whistle for a knock-on, but he does say it went backwards. Now it's kicked high for Portugal. Cross kick attempted here. Nicely taken by Georgia. Near the back. Couple quick step-ins coming from the try scorer, Tabutsatse. He's the only man to score the try so far in this match for the Georgians. We're currently sitting as $3.10 underdogs, so they still feel that there's a high chance that we see Georgia break through soon. Do you have a drive-in restaurant? We do not know. No, you drive into the car park, you park, and then you go in to get your food here. We haven't really got anything too fancy. This will be a huge upset session. It certainly will be. And chicken is not an option today. Beef all the way, says it was there from J9. What time does your show start for the England-Chile game? I believe we are starting at 4:35 a.m. New Zealand time, so 10 minutes before kickoff for that matchup. Georgia up to 9 phases now, starting to move it through the forwards quite nicely. I'd love an advantage just about now. So we'll give them a good chance to get into the lead for this game. But back across to the right-hand side. Good step from Georgia. Nice offload there. To Tapladze. Up to 13 phases in a row now, Portugal. They do have to be patient and they have to work out the best time to try and go for that turnover. Sarakadze, the captain. Now they move up to 25 metres out from the try line. Slowly and methodically marching forward here, the Georgians. Up to 14 phases now. Another step. Can they steal it in the final moment? Sarakadze. Another tackle on him. Up to 15 phases. The most we have seen in this match up till date. Bitze again. 25 metres. This is going to be absolutely brutal on the gas tank of the Portuguese. They have to either wait for the mistake or force one from the Georgians. Also need to make sure they stay on side. Keep discipline. Backline movement now for Georgia, getting off to Sarakadze. Oh no, he's picked up the ball, the Portuguese 9. A mistake there. And now because of it, Georgia have got the chance to kick this one to the corner. And there was a mistake in the first half near the end of the half. And that was the try, or the yellow card we did see. Now that's another bad mistake, and that might just give the Georgians the chance that they need to cross the try line here late in the game. 5 metres out, the crowd are booing. They feel that that may have gone dead. Matthew Carley saying no. They might have to check this one though. The crowd are not happy whatsoever. Now, 5 metres out. Well done, Portugal. Never thought you guys would do it, says Mark. And at this stage, they may not have. I know it sounds bad to say, but now Georgia starting to get their rolling maul going. They are close to the touchline. That is probably the saving grace here for the Portuguese as they get just that little bit closer to the try line. I believe they're going to be close to being over here. Are they through? They are going to go upstairs to have a look at it. But 78 minutes into the game, is it held up or is it down? They need to check it in the TMO. In fact, I thought they were going to say goal line drop out there, but just a little bit longer in this game, ladies and gentlemen. Good game, guys. It's been real, says Tesla. They are just checking the grounding here for Georgia. If it's a try, they've got the chance of winning the game with the kick. What happens if there is a tie? Oh, yeah, that will actually make it a draw, won't it? Rather than them sitting behind. Don't think it's a try, says Sighted. Tell you what, if they haven't scored here, it is not only great defence from Portugal, but also you'd have to say it's poor from Georgia because they had about 7 men with that rolling maul going forward. Did they rush the chance to go over that try line? Okay, first angle just about to be up on the screen now. That's over the line, or that is on the try line. So this will be, there was a little bit of a fumble, but I think that he still had control of it. The decision is a try, ladies and gentlemen, and that will now make the score 18 points to 18 between these two sides with 2 minutes remaining. Try's going to stand. Clear footage of the ball being on the line. It is the try now, and this is a kick to possibly win Georgia the game. There is still just a little bit more time left on the clock though, ladies and gentlemen. So if Georgia can get this one over, and they did score relatively close to the corner, Sim Taradze, he's never started an international match and now gets himself the last minute try that may just secure the win for the Georgians. And a kick to go, says J9 there. Georgia, they got over there. What a game, what a comeback. Says Blues, no, it feels like a damn final. Says, I mentioned about it before the game, and I mentioned about it a few weeks ago. I felt like this game could actually be one of the best of the tournament in terms of excitement and coming down to the wire, and that is exactly what we've got. I predicted a 5 points difference between the two, 3 points difference between the two sides. Luka Matkava, now first kick of the match from the touchline with 1 minute remaining. 2 tries apiece for these two sides, and neither side will be walking away with that bonus point for having 4 or more tries, but there is a chance that both sides walk away with that bonus point of being within 7. It's the kick. It's gone away to the right-hand side, and the score sits now 18 points to 18 with 45 seconds remaining, ladies and gentlemen. This one could be an absolutely thrilling contest going down to the wire. I will mention anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We have got 30 seconds remaining now on this one. No sniper badge, says Session. Let's go red and white, says G13. My nails are down to my elbows, says Gus. And then if a draw, I feel some good news for both countries, says Michael. It's going to be kicked off high now. Georgia inside of the 22. The big question is, would they accept a draw here? I feel like it's not in the spirit to do so, but Portugal win them. Oh, they had the turnover. Yes, they've got the penalty now, Georgia. So they have a kick to win this game. but the pressure is all going to be on the man now taking on the kick. If he misses, it's a draw. If it is going to be over, it will be the win for the Portuguese. What do they decide to do here? Do they back their kicker? Time is up. Appleton says we will take on the shot, please, and thank you. But it was great work in the breakdown. I want to say it was Granate who got over that ball, won the turnover, and now the chance for Portugal to make history and get themselves their first ever Rugby World Cup victory. But it all comes down to this young man at number 15, Nuno Sousa Guedes. The chance to win the game. Then a win for Portugal night. Be great, or might be great for rugby development in Portugal, although there are plenty of people who have their eyes closed for this kick, waiting to hear if it does go over. Can he get it? Nuno Sousa Guedes from about 30 metres out on the angle, ladies and gentlemen. He's hooked it. It's going to miss away to the side, and the ball has gone dead. It is full time, and it will be the draw between the two teams, ladies and gentlemen. The closest game by so far in this Rugby World Cup. Both sides had their opportunity to win it, but both young kickers couldn't quite get the job done. What a game. Well done, Georgia and Portugal. Best game of the tournament so far, says Kevin there. And bugger, says DJ. And nothing separating these two sides. Portugal will be drunk tonight, says On The Fly. He's got it, folks. This man's a madman, says I there. And also Bleak for Portugal and good game, Q lads, the winner, says Blues Nate. And also Cristiano Ronaldo is 9. But I think he'll be happy enough with Portugal. At the end of the day, that is probably also their first draw in a Rugby World Cup, which is the closest they have been ever to walking away with a victory. Both sides out on their feet. They threw everything into this game, both teams. And yes, it was a bit scrappy at times, but I think both sides will look at this game and go, we almost had it. It was just inches away for us. And also did well. They caught up, says Edwin. And also we were going to, what a beautiful game tonight. Both teams equal score at the end of the game, says Vishal. And Rugby Union is the winner. Exactly right. I said it at the start of this game. I said it at the start of the week. This had potential of being game of the round. And I feel like unless there's something drastic that happens in a game later on, I know it sounds weird to say, but Ireland versus South Africa, that might not be the most exciting game of the weekend, depending on whether or not it is as close as this one. A draw is probably fair, says Yvonne there. An awesome comeback, Portugal, says Andre. And great match. Well done to both teams, says Stefan. And I can't have my box drawing with Ireland today, says Dylan Simpson in there as well. But yeah, once again, huge thank you to you, Dylan, for your generosity with that donation. Also to Tesla. Also alongside that to Nate. To earlier on, we did have the donation from Nazi as well. I think there was one other as well. Joe D also did donate earlier on in the live stream. I want to make sure that I'm shouting everyone out who did donate. So I just want to make sure. Oh no, my chat doesn't go far enough back. Hang on. We're going to find them. We're going to find each and everyone. Yeah, so Joe D was one on the channel. Also Dylan, like I mentioned, Nazi Williams. We've had I or Tesla, depending on how you call him. Blues Nate on there as well. More from Nazi, more from Nate. And I believe that was all. Oh, and Tony right at the start did donate $2. So thank you very much, Tony Martinez. And thanks again, Hamish, says Gus. An excellent game. Cheers, Hamish. And South Africa will not disappoint. Don't worry, says Erwin. And then why did he have to steal that ball from the ruck? He ruined it for Portugal, says Philippines. And geez, okay, what an ending to the game. Both did well. Played with all their might, says it was there from geez, okay. And thank you, Hamish. Good game, says Goldberg. And don't feel too bad. Kicker happens all the time. Too much pressure on them, says I. And that's Africa versus Ireland game is killing me right now. Box have to win it. Going to be hectic, says Hanger Rat. So I should mention we are going to be live on the channel for that game as well, ladies and gentlemen. So be sure to leave a like and subscribe. The next game that we will be back for is England versus Chile. And then the one after that, of course, South Africa versus Ireland. We have a good one, brothers. I see you all this weekend. All Blacks versus Italy. Cheers, Hamish. Great commentary as usual, says I there. And thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated having you back on the channel. Look forward to seeing you in the future. But thank you all very much for tuning in. And I will see you all for the next one.